Ready to make a real impact every day? Join the Active Day Home Care team and help clients maintain their independence in the comfort of their own homes. Make a difference in someone's life as you provide essential daily assistance and protect their health and happiness. Earn up to $20 an hour and enjoy additional perks like optional daily pay, 401k, paid time off, ongoing educational training, and more. Join a team that values care, compassion, and your professional growth. Visit activeday.com to apply.
Ever get the feeling you're being watched online? It's Data Brokers. They collect your personal info, your browsing habits, where you live, and who you're related to, and then sell it to the highest bidder. Aura helps stop that. Aura automatically removes your personal info from data broker sites and keeps it off. It also monitors the dark web, protects your devices, alerts you to real-time threats, and more. Start your free trial at aura.com/listen. That's AURA.com/listen for your free trial.
And here is your host, filmmaker, Meosha Bean.
Hi, guys. Welcome to Creators Today. Today, we have a special guest.
Hello, I'm Cole Gentry.
Hey, welcome to the show.
Yay. Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
Yes. Well, I mean, I know you, but the audience, I want them to know you because, the show is about talking to creators from like all over the world, whether they're film, whatever, just being creatives. And you are that. I mean, when I first met you, I just loved your energy. I was like, I want to work with him to some capacity. I don't know how, but I'm so glad you can come on. So thank you. It means a lot to me.
Of course. I'm like, I remember meeting you. It was a while ago now.
Yeah.
Like it feels like it was like very close, but it was like probably over a year ago, like a year and a half, probably two at that point.
Yeah.
Jeez, that's so weird. But yeah, I felt the same way. It was just like, I didn't know you when I had met you. And then it was just all of a sudden, like we talked like the whole day that we were there.
Yeah,
it was great. I love it.
Awesome.
I'm so excited.
Yay. So you're from Ohio. That is incredible.
I'm actually from North Carolina. I went to college in Ohio.
Oh, okay.
I pop around.
You pop around.
I'm a jumper.
Okay, so you're you're Southerner.
Oh, yes. Yes. Highly flavored Southerner. Yes.
Yes,
Absolutely.
I love it. Tell me about, growing up in the South and what was that like?
I mean, growing up in the South, I think for everyone that kind of gets out of the South, they didn't really like it when they were there, or there was like, it's fine. It's beautiful. That's the number one word that always comes out of people's mouths when they talk about North Carolina or South Carolina or any Southern state. They're like, oh, it's beautiful. I'm like, yeah, that's like the positive thing that I'll give it for sure.
Right.
But it was good, more or less, but it was definitely difficult because it wasn't a city. It wasn't like a Southern city.
Yeah.
It was country. It was like, I think our max number of like population was 2,000.
Oh, wow.
It was very, very small. It's a retirement city for like older people. It's a retirement community. So it's like, that's why it's so pretty, I think. It's because they're trying to attract the older, wealthier, like white people to come there and to just live.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was fine, but I needed a change. That's why I went to college in Ohio.
Nice. And you kind of basically, I know for me, when I grew up, I'm from Florida, so, Gainesville to be exact. And so that small town mentality, I just knew there was something else out there. I didn't, this wasn't like my last resort. So like, how did you know, like, okay, I wanted to go to college in Ohio and this is the place, and why there? Why Ohio?
Well, I applied to a lot of different schools, a handful of them in North Carolina because of in-state tuition. But then in Ohio, I went to Antioch College. It's a small liberal arts school in Yellow Springs, Ohio.
Nice.
It's where Dave Chappelle lives. So if you've watched David Letterman's My Next Guest, that's where it's filmed. That's where it's about. Like that is what it's about.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So, but I went to Ohio specifically because my school had been closed for a good 10 years, I think.
Wow.
And then they were reopening. The alumni from the college bought the school back from the university. So if you've heard of Antioch University, there's a lot in LA. There's a lot of Antioch colleges and a lot of Antioch branded schools. That's where it started in Yellow Springs, Ohio.
Nice.
So the alumni bought that school in Ohio specifically back from the school, like the Antioch patriarchy of school systems.
Nice.
And then they said they were going to give the first 4 classes that joined the new Antioch, was the phrase, that they would give them like full tuition scholarships.
Wow.
So that was like my priority because it didn't cost anything except for room and board. And
Nice.
it was different. It was different. And it was still a very liberal, it was a town. It's not technically a city because it's so small.
Yeah.
It's a town in Ohio that's like the most liberal
Wow.
ever.
Yeah,
it's very small, but it's like smudged between all of the like Republican counties too.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Have you ever ran into Dave at all in Ohio?
Yes, a lot.
Oh wow.
Quite frequently.
That's
yeah,
awesome.
he took a shot with me on my birthday.
Hey.
So yeah, so I mean he's around. It's like not, it's like it gets like, it's kind of like when you're in LA and people are like, there's someone famous, you're like, yeah, I know, because it's LA.
Right.
But that's kind of what happened in Yellow Springs too. You were
That's
like, it's Dave Chappelle, he's there. Yeah.
That's so cool. So what were your like interests growing up? Like what did you find yourself like drawn to, like, and all that?
Well, I mean, so being in the South, in the country, being outside was like a thing that I was pushed on a lot. Like, go outside, do the outside thing. You're a boy, you need to go outside. Mm-hmm. So I was just like, I was a rebel, so I was like against it always. I was like, I don't want to. I'd rather do inside stuff, like I don't know, crafting. I played video games a lot. Love video games. But then so my grandparents are they're Baptist, and so they have a Christian group, and I used to go with them and sing just because I liked singing. Oh, wow. That was like the one thing that I loved to do. And it required like one talent, but 2, I get to travel with my grandparents, and my grandmother was like one of my favorite people. Oh. So and like they had like a big van and everything, like that had like a TV and it had like beds, like it's like a whole thing. Like they've won awards. Like it's weird. God, wow. It's crazy.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So I used to love to sing a lot, and I used to just go with my grandmother, and I like a lot of my like childhood interests really like set in stone with my grandmother. Singing, cooking, because I loved being in the kitchen with my grandmother. A lot of the recipes that I have right today are from her. So yeah, I mean, I think cooking and singing was like the main 2. Nice. And then like I had like video games, etc. too. You know, so cool. Just hobbies. Like, yeah.
That's awesome. Wow, I love that. Singing, I had no idea that you would sing. That's okay.
Well, I did sing. I think that's the correct phrase. I like did it all through high school. I like went to college, you know, did some singing there, and then I don't really practice it. Yeah, it's not like I love singing, but like I just don't do it like professionally or anything. It's
Gotcha.
Not, yeah.
Gotcha. So you're in college and you're doing performance creative things that you learned in college. So tell us about that. What does that entail? What did college look like for you?
Yeah, so I went to Antioch for 4 years. I got a Bachelor of Arts in Performance and then a minor in psychology. Wow. So I'm gonna take a class with you one day. Oh my God. So I started like, that was like what I was going to do, was like I was gonna be a psychologist and like I was gonna be like a therapist. That's what I wanted. And then I like halfway through my first year, my performance teacher, because I was taking performance classes as well because I loved it. My performance teacher, Gabrielle Seville, who is one of like my mentors of the world, Gabrielle Seville, look her up. She teaches here now at Cal Arts. She's like incredible. Love her to death. And she was like, I think you really need to be a performance major. Wow. Like I think that's what you need to do. And I was like, I mean, I guess. I was like, yeah, it's like the other option, I guess. But I was like, it doesn't really, like, what am I supposed to do with that once I leave? Like, I don't get it. Yeah. But then like I took a couple more of her classes over the year, and I was like, oh, because my school was year round.
Nice.
So we had quarters. So we only got like a week or two off in between quarters. So we like went to school pretty often.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was a lot. But yeah. And so I eventually like moved to performance, and then I really just enjoyed expressing myself, my experience, and also the experience of the climate, which I was living at the time, through performance and performance art.
Nice.
I have like a background from like high school in like theater and like
Wow.
stage performance. But I think moving it to a different realm of performance art and asking the question, what is performance art and what is not performance art, and kind of like testing that line of like what is and what isn't, and what do people deem this and what do people deem that.
Right.
And Gabrielle helped me so much kind of like explore not only my love for theater, but also like the curiosity of performance and performance art, and like testing out those boundaries by reading these people, studying these people, and trying to like figure out and like test the limits of like my own knowledge and also the knowledge of others around me.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible. What did you learn
Yeah.
out of that? Like something that you applied to you from learning that you discovered about yourself?
Well, I did quite a few like pieces, but I think one of them was like being aware of other experiences instead of your own. Because obviously I am like a white dude. Even though I'm gay,
really?
there's still I know. I know. And even like, and growing up in the South too, there's a lot of like racially charged bias, like learning how to talk about your own experience, but also learn about other people and their experience, and then confronting that discrimination with those around you.
Right.
And trying to like call people out because they need to be called out. Like it's not the time anymore to like sit back and let people like watch it happen. It's like call to action, basically.
Right.
Of like how you can get other people to be engaged with it and to like learn and to see the harms of discrimination. Like the list of discrimination. Yeah.
Yeah. I can only imagine, right? Like how like you said, growing up in the South and then all that, the things that you probably encountered. I mean, did you encounter any of that at all?
I did at home, and then also when I went to college. I mean, it was mostly the gay thing. That was I was very effeminate growing up, still very am. But like I was like at the point where I was like, don't give a fuck. And so like, I hope I can say that.
Yeah, you're fine.
And I was like, just kind of wearing what I wanted. I was painting my nails. I was doing drag a lot. And then, you know, even in Yellow Springs, like the small town, you would have people come and visit, and they would walk the streets and they would see me and they would call me names, et cetera, et cetera.
Wow.
So like, yeah, so that happens pretty frequently. And then also in high school, like it got to a point where they were doing it. And then where I got into like the senior role, I just didn't care because like all the teachers knew me, everyone knew who I was, and I was kind of very active. And so I would just call people out and be like, hey, go fuck yourself, basically. Like that's what I would do, because a lot of my younger friends who are like classes behind me, I had like this one friend, Anthony, who's also very effeminate.
Yeah.
But he's like even more. And so people would just totally like get on him a lot. And I like protected him. I was like, absolutely not. You will not do to him what you've done to me. I was like, I will literally fight you. Like that's like, I was like, I will fight you. I'm from the South.
Yeah, right. You like, you don't want the smoke. Like, come on.
Yeah, no.
I am Southern, okay?
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely not. Yeah.
No, that's amazing. And yeah, no, that makes sense. You're right. It is the time to call people out on things, like, you know, whether, like you said, you know, it's even now the climate that we're in right now. I mean, and it's so much going on. This might go off a little bit, but I'm just so curious. You know, do you feel like it's like I agree with you about calling people out, but do you think that it's we're in a society where people are very sensitive to a lot of things when it comes to like everyone has like not movements, but there are so many things now that we're trying to everyone has
like
something.
cancel culture.
Right.
Yeah.
How do you feel about
Um,
that?
it's a little bit on the line for me. I feel
Yeah.
like there are instances where I think that it could be overboard.
Hmm.
Because I think that we've all done like really negative things. And so like
Yeah.
anything can be brought up at any point.
True.
Um, especially if it's online, especially if
Oh
there's
yeah.
like content of it. But I still think that it's very important. I think it depends on what you're calling them out
Right.
because
Right.
like I think of racism, homophobia,
Yeah.
like that, yes, you should
Definitely.
absolutely be called out for, because you're harming a group of people,
Right.
and you're very like, it's very negative. I mean, you're perpetuating something that are like still exists. It's not gone.
No.
It's not an old thought. It's a new thought. It's here. It's right now. People are still being discriminated against, and then like that's the way it is.
Yeah.
But there's definitely a couple of things I think people do need to be taught that what they did is wrong, but they may have already done that. So that's something to
Right.
also keep in mind. Like if something is old and it gets brought to light or whatever, they may have already dealt with it. They may have already apologized for it, but we need to just be aware that it's not
Mhm.
also getting aggressive when we can't, when canceling or finding things out about people that we may have loved or cherished or whatever.
Definitely.
So I think just like do it, but I don't know. I'm trying to not we need to just be compassionate,
Yes.
but also I think we still need to call people out. I still feel that.
No,
I still feel
absolutely.
very that. Yeah.
Absolutely. No, I agree with you. And I just wanted to just pick your brain because I've been hearing people say, like there's movements like, hey, you shouldn't, it's just like it gets to the point where it's like did we just make that one up? Or, it's like that there's some serious movements that we're trying to, like you said, homophobia, discrimination, racism, all of that. That we're still dealing with that. Like just, and it's 2021. And you know what I mean? It's like, it's really sad, unfortunately. But like you said, that's the best way to do is to call people out, and to I guess the more we put that out there, the better it will get eventually.
I mean, I think conversation, I think being able, I think context is everything. And I also think conversation is everything.
Yeah.
Because I think that, I just think that we have to still hold people accountable.
Right.
While, I don't know, also being sensitive to the fact that this may have already been discussed. Because,
that's true.
Younger people are getting online that are just learning about something, about someone, about something, and then it'll get blasted out. Like, I feel like there's a couple of things that will keep getting brought up over the years until forever, honestly.
Right. Pretty much.
Yeah. Yeah.
So now that you're okay, so you finished college, what was next? You're like, okay, California, or like, how did you get where you are now?
Well, yeah. So in college, we have this thing called co-op. So it's basically learning, but out of school. It's like learning in the workplace, basically.
Okay.
And so we did that. You have to do one every year. And it's always, it alternates quarters or whatever. It's difficult, trust me. But so you have to go and go into the workplace. And so all of my co-ops, I did all of them in New York City.
Nice.
So I lived in New York City for a total of 9 to 12 months. And I worked at Housing Works. I don't know if you've ever heard of Housing Works.
It's like
basically their work statement is that they provide HIV and AIDS patients with healthcare and give them work when no other place that if someone's positive, they'll give them work at all.
Oh, wow.
They're incredible. And they have bookstores and also thrift stores around New York City. Wow. That's how they gain their income. That's how they gain and be able to give people medications or housing or whatever. I worked in the catering, Housing Works catering. So basically they cater weddings, bar mitzvahs. We did a lot of just parties, but they're very extravagant parties.
Nice.
so yeah, we would just prepare the food for them, and depending on budget, etc., we would do either appetizers, full meals, pass around, whatever. And so I fell in love with New York City. That was the goal, because my brother also lives in New York City.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, that was the goal, is to go there. But then I met my boyfriend who lived here, and so I ended up just moving here.
Nice.
Kind of because I had never been to LA, and I was just like, I mean, it's kind of similar.
Right.
Acting is a thing that's like, it's whatever. So I moved here, and I was like, I was wanting to do acting, like small theater stuff. Did not go that way. Instead, I moved into like the social digital world. Nice. And then I started at American Idol on ABC in 2017, 2018. Mm-hmm. So then I moved there, and then I did social and digital at Idol for 2 seasons on ABC.
Nice.
And then I moved to a social media company called Teammate, which is where I'm currently at right now.
Nice. Tell us about Teammate. What's that? Yeah. What's that about?
So Teammate is a social and digital like strategy like agency that works specifically with like talent, like artists. We do mostly musicians.
Nice.
We do have a couple of actors and a couple of brands, but we specifically do musicians. And I'm currently on Megan Trainor, Zara Larson, and then a couple of other smaller names as well.
Very cool. So I'm sorry, go ahead, continue, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just gonna say, and we basically just do we do strategy around album releasing, single releases, if there are any TV shows, we kind of just do all of their social strategy.
Yeah.
And then we may post for them, et cetera, et cetera.
Okay, so they're not literally sitting there posting their own stuff. They don't have the time.
Sometimes they do. Sometimes they do. A lot of them have like their own ownership of their Instagram
that's great.
Twitter. So sometimes they do a lot, but we're there to do like the mundane like promo stuff.
Got it.
So we're there to do like the extra, that just so that they're, active or selling or,
very cool.
Basically that. We're encouraging to them too.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Cause we're in such a, social media, everything's just online, it's so much information being transferred. I mean, everyone's online. Our grandma, is online. You're like, whoa, what a crazy time. But how do you from your expertise, is it a lot of hard work to like really build your social media? Like, how do you? Yeah. Is it like a constant thing?
I haven't stopped working. Even though the pandemic happened, I haven't stopped. So it's because, it's a good thing. Social is constant. Everything, like, it's always happening. There's always something to talk about or post about. And then, with all of the negative things that have happened over last year and this year, there's a lot of that as well. So I'm constantly looking just in case there's a response that needs to be had,
I see.
Or making sure that the artist is aware so that they can post something as well. Like, so that we're making sure that the artists are aware, that way that we can draw attention where attention is needed. Especially with a lot of the Black Lives Matter pushes and protests that happened over the summer. Like, that was a big moment for a lot of the artists to make sure that they were being active and make sure that their fans were able to help these like Feeding America or Black Lives Matter specific movements or donating money. That's what we are here to do. Basically, we're here to make sure that you're seeing everything, even though you're not online every day.
Absolutely. So. Absolutely. Yeah. I always wonder how they, you hear something and it's just all these like threads and you're like, so that's you guys. That's incredible.
We're here. Yeah, we're here to point people in the right direction.
Hey, that's really cool.
Yeah.
It's really awesome.
Yeah, so I went from performing, doing a lot of performance art to tease people's minds, but now I'm just helping fans get the access they need so they can share it with other people as well. So
very cool.
Basically still the same thing. It's just not me personally. It's not my face on it.
Do you miss performing? You know.
Yes, I do. I like literally when you asked me to do this, I went into my book cabinet right here and I like looked through all of my performance stuff. And
Awesome.
while I was at Antioch College, me and my friends made a performance review of Antioch College for like 2 years.
Oh, wow.
And so like some of my work has been in that as well. So I just like read through everything and I was like, I miss it so much. And so
Aw.
I have a notes part on my phone where I like type out performance art ideas
Oh, cool.
just to kind of like, I don't know, relieve it even though I'm not doing it, just to like have it.
That's so cool. Do you think you'll ever get back into it?
I don't know. I mean, I have like no time. But I think that I know. I think quarantine and like the pandemic is like definitely the time to like do it. But it's hard because everything I think performative is mostly social media related right now because everyone can see it easier and you can't really have anything in public right now. Well, in some places.
That's the truth. That's the truth.
Yeah.
That's so fun.
But hopefully, I'm hoping once we get back to whatever normal is to like being out in public, I can go see things. I can hopefully be a part of things. If I'm not doing them, maybe I can just create something and have people do it for me. Like,
There you go.
I don't know. Yeah. I don't know if I want to be in it anymore, but maybe I want to be like a director about it. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. I can totally see that.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's really good. And that actually leads me to my question about, there's so much going around, in the world, we're in such a crazy time right now. How did you stay balanced during this time? Or staying balanced, I guess.
Yeah, that's so true. At the beginning, I was not balanced at all. I think one thing was because work didn't stop, neither did I. So it was a lot of doom scrolling where we're just kind of like trying to find the correct information, trying to like figure out what was happening so that I could get a statement out or I could write copy for someone to get a statement out. Like that was kind of how it was. It was just like a constant circle of like information for me.
Yeah.
And then like, honestly, last year, like, I don't think I like handled it well at all. It was just a lot of eating, a lot of drinking, and a lot of working. So it was like not really figuring it out. But new year, new me, as people say. I've been trying to distance myself a lot more from my phone, even though work started again last week because we came back on the 4th with everyone.
Nice.
My work started back. I'm starting to eat better. I'm starting to have like a morning routine with like, because I bought a coffee maker. I have coffee
yes.
now.
Cheers.
So I make my coffee. I like sit, and then I work out now. So like
Nice.
I'm trying to like find things that I've been like lacking basically. So I'm trying. So that's what I've been trying to do over the past like I guess it's been like a week or two since the new year. So
hey, it's a new
I've been
year.
trying to do. I'm trying it, even though the world is still on fire. I'm trying to not let it affect me as much, but help other people while doing it.
The world is literally on fire. Oh man, it's such a crazy time. Like, I'm sure you've seen this historical moment as of recently.
Yeah.
This is going to go down in like our history books one day. Like this actually happened.
Oh no. Yeah, it's gonna be a good a chapter and a half in the history books for sure. Like we're gonna have to go through it.
Oh my God.
Again.
Yeah.
Our kids are gonna have to go through it if we have children. You know what I mean?
Oh God. Yeah. It's like a movie, but it's not. It's like, is this really actually happening? How do you feel about what has happened at the Capitol? What do you feel about that?
I have a lot of feelings, and I, as a person online, I just have like a lot of thoughts running through my head because there's so much information to go through. I like to kind of like pull from other people and like share other people's thoughts because I think it just helps me kind of figure out what I need to say.
Yeah.
It's just like such a disgrace that because I've seen a couple of things saying yes, we stormed the Capitol, but not in the way that we needed to, because it's like the far right, and it's like the most negative that we could be, because we want our system to change. We want our political atmosphere to change because we want it to get better and like help everyone. But like, these people are literal terrorists. And the fact that they're not being treated as such is really ridiculous. And I keep going back to someone that said, that shows all these people up in Nancy Pelosi's chair and the floor's chair, like they're sitting there. If that had been a person of color, specifically a Black person, that person would have been dead immediately.
Oh yeah.
Immediately.
1000%.
All of the people that had charged, it would have been like a freaking lineup, like as soon as they walked into the door. And that, and the fact that people are not seeing that, and because, you know, I have Facebook, I have a lot of racist family members, not friends anymore, that keep posting it. And the only reason I keep them on there so that I can post things so that they see that.
Yeah.
So it kind of like bounces back to them. But like, just the amount of people that do not see it, and like trying to compare it to the summer, which we never got violent. What?
Yeah.
It's like, it's because I don't know if I'm assuming that you may have participated in some protest, or at least a protest. I did.
Yeah, I did.
And it was all positive.
It was, yeah. My sister was at and her friend Sally. They went to a protest in Florida, and they called me like, oh, everything was, you know, peaceful. Everything was fine, you know. But you see on the news something else, and you're like, well, I'm confused.
Well, yeah. I mean, the only reason it wasn't peaceful was when cops started to be violent. Like that's, and then people don't see it. Like, it was violent because it was a violent protest. I was like, that's not correct. You're not you're just spreading something that's even worse. Like, oh my God, it's awful.
Yeah.
Terrifying.
That's the problem with the news, right? The media.
Yeah.
You don't, there's so much information out there. You don't know who's the truth tellers or who's giving you accurate information, or, so it's like, yeah.
Right. Well, it's also seeing the content for itself. So it's like looking, you see these videos, you see these photos, and then it's like, if you just look at the content, it's obvious who is right and who is wrong in the situation.
Right.
But obviously people are looking at like meme made stuff from either like really right wing like outlets, and that are saying and like putting up either fake photos or painting it without context. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's just, I mean, it's exhausting, but I mean, we still have to continue to push, because in my mind, I don't think it's over yet. I think that we still have
a lot more
either
to go.
A wave of something. I feel like something is
gonna happen.
It's like it's here, because that was just like step one for sure, and they were allowed to do it. Like, that's like the thing. They were allowed in to do it. So obviously there's no boundaries. There's no parameters for them.
No, it's I feel the same way. There's something huge, something big is gonna be like, and here's a cherry on top. You know, it's like, I don't know what that is, but you know, we'll see. Sure. We're definitely here.
We're in something. We're in the history book. That's what we are. We're inside of it right now. Like, there's nothing else about it.
There's nothing else to say. Yeah. Wow. Okay. A lighter topic. I'll throw something funny in there. If totally something left field, but if there was a biopic based on your life, who would play you?
Oh. Okay. Well, I don't like. I've gotten a lot of like, you look like this person, but they're not technically a celebrity, or not celebrity. They're not technically an actor, but it would either be Troye Sivan or Tyler Oakley.
Oh,
do you know who those people? They're Oakley. Really gay.
Yeah. I like that.
Troye Sivan is a musician. Yeah, I'm one or the other. But I get those two. Those two are always there.
All right. Well,
when I have glasses on, I definitely like Tyler Oakley. So,
all right, guys, if you hear it here now, that's That's it. Hey, you
Oh,
guys are
wow.
playing him, so I can see that. Hey, you never know.
I
You never
love it.
know. You never know.
I know I have a couple of I have a couple of performance pieces based on my life. So you're more than look at the writing. Look at the writing.
That's it.
There we go.
What advice would you give to someone out there that wants to, get into what you're doing, or even to just try to get into the industry? What advice would you give them?
Yeah, I mean, this was wild. So this is just a little story before the answer.
Yeah.
When I was first working at Idol, obviously I would be posting that I worked at Idol, and like when we would do certain stages of the competition, and I would be posting that I was there. I had this girl DM me on Instagram, and she was going to school for social digital strategy, and I was like, hold up. And she was like asking me all of these questions, and I was like, I really honestly have no idea any of the answers that you're looking for, because I didn't go to school for it, and I just fell into it. Like, it wasn't like this is what I want to do. It's kind of like, oh, this is an opportunity.
Yeah.
Basically. But I just thought that was like the wildest thing, because I didn't know anything at the time. I'm like, definitely I know a lot more now, and I know how to do a lot more. So I could answer her. So if you're watching this, person who DM'd me a while ago, I'm here. And I can tell you a lot more for sure. But my advice would be, not only take every opportunity that you can, whether that is what I started out as a PA on a show, or an intern on whatever. Obviously we should be paid for it. So throwing that out there, make sure it's paid.
Definitely.
Know your worth first and foremost. 2, take every opportunity that you can, and especially try to find something that you would enjoy doing. Don't do anything. Do something that you feel like that you would enjoy doing, with artists that you love, with companies that you love, etc. And 3, try to just know people. I think that that's the number one thing. Like, I would have never been on this if I would have never met you. And I have like a friend. I was on a podcast about fangirls. And if I had never met her, then I'd never been on that. So it's like, just open yourself up to people and just like network, because I think that that's the number one thing, especially in the industry. Networking, I think that is the number one thing. Never be disingenuous to anyone. Like, literally just be with people, know people. Obviously, if they're awful, don't give them the time of the day, because that's not worth it. But like, people that you enjoy, try to enjoy people and the stuff that they do, and I feel like you'll fall into it. Trust me. Definitely. Yeah, for sure.
That was wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing your story and just sharing that advice. Yes. I think this was such a lovely conversation. I had a great time talking to you and catching up.
It was. I loved it so much. Thank you for having me.
Of course. Are you working on anything at the moment that you'd like to share, and where can people find you on social media?
All right. You can find me literally on all social media at MTC Gentry, Gentry. That's across everything. Not doing anything at the moment. I mean, I work a lot, but it's mostly, watch the socials of Megan Trainor, Zara Larson, Dreamers, Bonnie McKee. We have stuff. It's coming. But personally, just follow me. I take photos a lot.
Oh, yeah. Amazing photos, by the way. Amazing photos.
Oh, thank you.
I'm like, oh my God. Like, your face, it's just your show. Oh my God, you're so handsome and cute. Did you
thank you.
Just adorable.
Thank you.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for coming on, and I appreciate this time with you. It means a lot to me.
Thank you so much.
All right, guys. Well, that's another awesome, fun episode. Until next time, always remember to live, love, laugh. Bye, guys.
Yeah.